What was it like growing up?
Actually, that's a really good question because here in Brazil, people don't know much about autism. It was only when I turned 20 that I went to a doctor, and instantly, at the moment he looked at me, he says, well, there's no question you're autistic. That's why you don't like making eye contact. That's why you feel nervous around people. That's why you don't have to study as much as other people do. Being called weird, I got used to it with time, but that's nice because I had friends that didn't mind that and actually liked that about me. So with time I learned to love how I am and how I think, but sometimes it still puts me in trouble. I go to therapy, and I try to work out things, and I go to a special kind of therapy that helps me to understand feelings and understand people and try to work around this stuff, because it's very tricky. It's like a puzzle to me sometimes. But it's nice. It's nice. I always keep learning, and I really like to keep on learning new stuff.
Dude, you're like bringing me to tears. This is so beautiful to hear, man. What's up, everybody? Welcome back to the Free Yourself podcast. Today we have Elias, my man, HEYDOC Music, this guy. So real quick, before we get started, I gotta tell everybody, this man. So everybody that follows me knows I hold Cosmic Academy like near and dear to my heart. I love them. I'm so grateful for everything that Justin and Zach have taught me, and for all the amazing artists that I've been able to connect with because of Cosmic Academy. And HEYDOC is an incredible, he's taken every lesson that Cosmic has taught and he's taken it to the next level. Because now I'm going to talk directly at you. What you've been able to do, because when you first got in, we connected a little bit. Then, things happen and, we went our separate ways. But in that time that we've come back together now, you have done incredible, incredible work with your branding. And of course, to back up the incredible branding, you've done incredible work with your music. Now, just list off, because when they go and check out your bio, they're going to see, all the awesome record labels and stuff that you've been able to sign with. And just like, look at even just the branding behind you. Like you've just been absolutely crushing it, man. And I'm so freaking proud of you. Look at this, everybody. Look at this. So give everybody, tell them who you are and where you're from and the type of music you make.
Okay, everyone. Hello. It's so nice to be here. I've seen some of the show, and I really like it. I I actually thought sometimes I'll be there because I love to participate in podcasts and stuff like that. I really like it. I'm from Brazil, a little town in the Midwest with like 1 million people. It's I mean, Brazil is pretty big, so it's not a huge city because we got some big ones right here.
Yeah.
I started making music around 2017. I started with like drum and bass, dubstep and stuff. And I was in med school at the time. That's where I got my name from, actually.
Yeah.
Mhm. When I quit from my med school, I began to listen more to house music. And in 2019, I made that transition to house music and actually started the HEYDOC, the project itself, because before I was just making music for hobbies and stuff and to keep my mind clean because the med school is not easy, man.
I bet. Hell yeah, man. So
Yeah, that I could quit and do what I actually want and help people with music. Like it helped me a lot when I was in med school because I was very depressed at the time, and music kind of saved my life, and I owe it to music. So here I am right now, doing everything I can, always trying to be better.
dude, and what some people, I mean, everyone who's seen music live knows the feeling that you get when the whole crowd is on the same wavelength and everybody's having a great time, especially, with my experience with electronic music more than others. the love in the atmosphere. Just it's like it's a different, you enter like a different world when you go to these shows, and it's just such a higher like vibrational wavelength that everyone comes on. And to take it to, you know, the level that kind of brings it back to the free yourself stuff, like sound healing has been such a prevalent part of my life for the past 7 years, you know, ever since I came into recovery and stuff. It's because I found out in like the first week, it was actually, I was in detox, and this woman came in and we did yoga, and then she had a gong, and she led us through a meditation. And that was the first time that I felt like it was an intentionally done, where she was performing sound healing. And so all the 7 chakras line up with the 7 colors of the rainbow and 7 music notes. So 7 is a very important number also in the universe. And
True.
so it's beautiful to hear how sound has healed you and saved you from you know the hard lifestyle that you were leading. And so how has because I know from my own experience too, like I started making, you know, harder music. The first track that Chris and I came out with was well, actually the second track. So the first track was Big Room, but the second track we came out with had a trap kind of dubsteppy drop for the first drop, and the second drop was a hard style drop. So it was like that freaking that kick drum. And man, it's like I felt deeply in love with house music, and specifically like Annie Up is my favorite like way to explain it, because they're like in the middle of bass house and tech house, and that's like the sweet spot that I really love to live when I'm performing and stuff, because it's like it's tech house but also high energy. So that's I'm high energy. That's me. So
I mean, just being around you, I feel the high energy, you know. I like
it. Hell yeah, man. And so how has that transition for you? Like how did that sort of happen? Because I know how it happened for me, but how did you go from the harder music into house music?
So I really always liked the heavier tones of music, like dubstep and all, because I mean my favorite artists back then were like Dead Sick and Downlink and all these crazy bassline dubstep artists that today everyone is making rhythm, but at the time it was the fucking old school grimy dubstep, you know. And then I got to like 2018, I found out about Chami and his label Confession. And then I started, dude, this kind of sounds like dubstep. And I really like it because it's way more bouncier and the groove is so different. And then I started to listen to every single release on Confession, and I started finding out about bass house that I didn't know about before, because I was very familiar with future house, but I didn't know about
Mhm.
bass house. I remember when bass house started getting big after future house started dying out. A few of the artists that I used to listen to kind of made a good transition. I think one that made the best transitions were Chami, Mala, and Funky Matt. Actually, those 3 are my bases for house music. They are my idols. I think if I
Hell
meet
yeah.
them someday, I'll probably pass out. But yeah, and then when I started making bass house, it clicked so fast, and I started making progress so fast in 2019. By the end of 2019, I signed with Bro Hug on his label BROHOUSE, and they were also some of my favorite musicians at the time, because they still make the same style of music. It's crazy. They release the sound the same. You know, it's Bro Hug when you listen, but it's
Mhm.
evolved in just like wine, man. It's so good nowadays still. And who knows, maybe I'll make my comeback there sometime. But yeah, around 2019, I played a couple shows with a friend of mine that is a country singer here in Brazil. Actually, country is really big here in my city. Is probably the most popular genre. We call it sertanejo, and we have little to no space for bass house music and house music in general. So I would tour with him around the states that are nearby, and I would open his shows with a lighter set. I wouldn't go wow super heavy, bro hug, smash your brains out, but it was nice for me to get a little bit of experience on stage, because public and people are very weird for me and uncomfortable because I don't know if you know, but I'm autistic,
I
but a
do.
very light level of autism that I have, and it's very hard for me with social interactions and stuff. I'm way more comfortable over the internet, like we are right here. But when I need to like meet people, call people, or something like that, I get locked. I can't do it. And it was a good way for me to notice that when I'm on stage, I feel like I'm in my own zone. I don't see the public sometimes. I just flow, and it's really cool that music can do that. I don't If I had to like go upstage to, I don't know, read a fucking essay or something, I wouldn't be able to, probably. I would freak out. But no, I can dance in public now, which is weird for me.
Dude, man. All right. So a couple questions from everything you just said. So taking it back to so country music. So is it country music like I'm thinking, like country music in the States, like I'm thinking?
It's very different actually,
Yeah, can
but
you explain a little bit? Like it's not like the southern twang that you hear in
oh
guitar and acoustic and stuff. What is it sort of like?
yeah, it's got a lot of acoustic guitar. It
Okay.
also got an instrument. I don't know the name in English. It's called sanfona here in Brazil. It's something that you press the buttons and it goes, you know?
Um um oh my God. Oh,
I don't remember the name.
accordion.
Yeah,
Accordion.
it's the
Yeah.
accordion. There are two types of accordion, the small one and the big one, and they are very prominent in that genre. And we got some light drums with a lot of percussion and kind of bouncy rhythm, and the lyrics are mostly about people suffering because they broke up with someone or something like that. It's always something like that.
So
It's
in
fun.
that sense, it's very similar to American country
Oh,
music.
yeah. It's
That's
yeah,
awesome, man. That's
similar.
awesome.
It was bound to happen. But yeah, it's very prominent here. People love it, love it, love it to death, and I think it's probably the biggest genre in Brazil as a whole. Probably like we got country, and then rap is really big as well, and then pop should go very low, and we got electronic music that is really big because of a lock and vintage culture.
Oh,
They
so
uh,
that's interesting. I didn't know that they were Brazilian.
yeah, both of them are Brazilian.
I thought Alok was Indian because
No, a lot.
I've met Indian people with that first name.
Oh yeah. Oh,
Yeah.
I mean, I think his name is from there actually, because their parents, they are the owners of a very big festival that happens here in Brazil called Universo Paralelo. That means parallel universe, and they build him to be an artist since he was born. So his name is Alok. That's his birth name, Alok Petrillo, and his brother is Bascar. So very different, weird names.
Yeah. Wow. That's awesome. That's awesome. See, I the first artist that I think of when I think of Brazil is Chusen Ceballos.
I
Chusen
don't.
Ceballos is very I don't want to say tropical house because that kind of gives you like Kygo vibes, right?
Oh,
But
yeah,
they're very and like Sonny James and Ryan Marciano, but they're also like they're like heavier, almost electro.
yeah,
Choosing Ceballos is very because all right. So here's a good way of explaining it. So they're tech house, but
yes.
they use very native instruments
I
and
like
stuff.
that
So
kind of
you hear
thing.
a lot of bongos type of stuff and stuff like that. And I got a chance to meet them at Noto in Philly when they came to Noto, and me and Chris D'Souza and I, the other half of the remote controllers, he we went backstage and we were watching them work. And man, because they're a duo and they have this whole setup where it's not just CDJs, like they have their like own two setups right there, and it's like they have a mixer and then other things around it that are not CDJs. I forget the whole setup, but it was like really cool to like see
I
them
think
play.
people usually call this style like Afro house or something like that, you know?
Yeah, yeah, that's the freaking word I was looking for. Yeah, that's awesome,
My
man. So
home city right here from Goiânia too.
I'm sorry, say that again.
Alok is actually from my city as well. So here in
Nice.
Goiânia, we have the best like bass house Brazilian artists, you know?
Hell
So
yeah.
to
That's
be in the
awesome. See, learn something new every day, right? That's freaking awesome, dude. And
yeah.
so since I've seen videos of Chus and Ceballos playing to like 100,000 people in Brazil, I was under the impression that house music was like huge in Brazil.
For some reason, it is very big in the south of Brazil. Is where we have the biggest clubs like Green Valley and Warung that are the like number one clubs in the world. You know,
Okay.
if you go there, you'll find some good music in the clubs. Don't come to the Midwest if you want to listen to house music. You won't find.
See, that I mean, that's very similar to America too. You don't go to the Midwest of America to listen to house music. Like, you gotta go New York City, you gotta go LA, you gotta go. Well, actually, house music started in Chicago, and that's technically the Midwest, but that's a whole different beast. Chicago is a city, it's not the country, right?
Yeah.
And then like Miami, of course you're gonna hear like nothing but Miami loves deep house too.
Oh yeah, Miami is cool. Yeah, for this. Actually, next month I'll be in New York because I had a trip planned in 2020, and now I finally get to go to the trip that I planned.
Hell yeah, dude. Oh, we gotta link up because I live an hour outside of New York.
Oh, cool, man. So definitely we'll link up.
Hell yeah. That I'm so happy we did this. Hell yeah, man. That's
Yeah.
awesome. So another question off of what we were talking about before. So I love how you explained how performing on stage has helped you kind of come out of your shell a little bit with since you're on the spectrum. And but how's a cool way to ask this question. So since it's been difficult, I from the little bit that I know about autism, like it's social interactions are difficult. That's like the most basic understanding that I have of it, because there's people that are mute as well. They don't talk at all. They're severely autistic. And so for you, what was it like growing up?
Actually, that's a really good question because here in Brazil, at least where I live, it was people don't know much about autism, you know. And I grew up my whole entire life until I was like 20 or so, thinking I was just weird or have social phobia or something because no doctor could diagnose me. So I was always getting medicated with the wrong stuff, and people would call me weird, and I wouldn't know how to react, and I was always off-putting. I also only have like four friends in total that I like trust a lot, you know. And it was only when I turned 20 that I went to a doctor, and instantly, at the moment he looked at me, he says, well, there's no question, you're autistic. That's why it's like that. That's why you don't like making eye contact. That's why you feel nervous around people. That's why you don't have to study as much as other people do. Because I mean, I passed for medicine, and swear to you, I barely studied in my 3 years of high school, you know? And people always think like, oh, he's the nerd, but he gets kicked out of class all the time because he acts up and do all this stuff. But people don't understand, you know, because when they think of nerds that go through college and stuff, they think of the clean guy that's sitting on the front, and it's nice to everybody and it's quiet. But yeah, I like to be like make jokes and stuff, and I had my friends, and I always being called weird. I got used to it with time, but that's nice because I had friends that didn't mind that and actually liked that about me. So with time, I learned to love how I am and how I think. But sometimes it still puts me in trouble. I go to therapy, and I try to work out things, and I go to a special kind of therapy that helps me to understand feelings and understand people and try to work around this stuff, you know, because it's very tricky. It's like a puzzle to me sometimes. But it's nice. It's nice. I always keep learning, and I really like to keep on learning new stuff.
Dude, you're like bringing me to tears. This is so beautiful to hear, man. This is because no matter what people are dealing with, take out on the spectrum of autism and insert, their problems, and they can learn from you what you've done to grow to love this thing about you that for so long got you called weird and stuff, and to honestly, like, look at what you've been able to build and what you've been able to do. And I'm going to guess and say a big part of that has been learning about yourself and growing and learning to love that about you. And like, look, being weird is the best compliment, I think, because it you're just different, right? And that makes you unique, and that makes you you, and that's beautiful.
It's so much. I think so much like that right now that I make weird music. You know, I people always listen to my music, saying this is so weird, it's so different. I love it. And you know, Don Kong. They play my music a lot, and then I bring new music for them every week, and they keep saying, "Man, get weirder. I love it. Please get weirder." And I keep getting weirder, and people love it. You know, people just don't know it that they love it. They need to be exposed to different things to know that they like different things, and that's something that I bring up with my project a lot because as I said, there's not many places to listen to house music here where I live. So I opened up my own club, you know, and I had the first edition of my club last Friday, and it was a fucking hit because people love underground music. They just don't know that they do. I'm even wearing the logo.
Yeah,
It
that's
was
oh,
cool. I was editing the videos of the party right now before we had like 1K people over, and it was crazy, crazy good.
dude, that's amazing. I'm so happy for you, dude. That's freaking amazing. So, all right. So now I get to even talk to someone who's been able to open a club, right? So, like, walk me through that process. Like, what did you have to, how did it start?
It started with a friend of mine, actually. That's one of my best friends. He's a tech house producer called, his duo is called Be More, and he's called Bellini. And we were talking, and we were like, man, I really want to play this. I really want to play that, but I gotta hold back when I go to these places because I always play after some commercial dude that won't be able to play after this house underground house music that we make. So we gotta make something that's unique. We gotta elevate the underground scene so everyone can thrive off it, you know? So everyone can have their place and their market for their music. And then we also get respect from artists that we love here in Brazil because we can trade dates and stuff with them, with our club. And then we started actually thinking about it. So we the name of the club is Fallout Club, and it's the idea that we have that everything is made up of atoms, you know, and atoms are made of the three particles: the neutrons, the protons, and the electrons. And that is the tech house, techno, and bass house music. And then we built it to make the atom of the Fallout. So yes, there's the explosion, the nuclear explosion of house music, and the nuclear fallout is gonna make the underground rise. And that's what we did. We worked hard for like 2 months to get this party going, to get all the everything perfect. We uh, got like so much invested because we got some big names here in Brazil to play on the first edition, and people really loved it. It was like the hit, the best party in the town in years, you know. And I mean, I'm very grateful for that. I'm very grateful that my parents and Bellini's parents were able to help us with that by being our financial advisors and investors, you know. It would be impossible without them. So it's nice to have good people that believe in what you do. That's the most important thing. I wouldn't be able to open my own club without people that actually believe in what we're doing, you know. And it was a success. So if you think something will make everyone's life better, you should do it. There's no reason you shouldn't do it. And that's how it went. I mean, we didn't. I'm gonna be very transparent here. We didn't make money off of it. We just kind of leveled out everything because it's first time is always harder, and we didn't have much info on how to make a club and shit. But I think what we gained in respect and love for music and just in the strength of the underground, I think is worth it. Was worth it.
Dude, absolutely. Like, if you listen, to be able to throw any event and even break even is that's like it's because listen, I've we've been trying to do, you know, this sort of thing in Philly. Like me, Sam Sirach, and Hef, we've been throwing these we threw these free shows at Graffiti Pier in Philadelphia. And you know, we've all I've spent, you know, thousands of dollars on equipment. You know, these guys have we all put up money to make sure that, because this is like, it's a abandoned pier that was bought by somebody who, you know, buys properties, and it was bought so that people could go and not be disturbed, because if there's there has to be a noise complaint in order for like an officer to go out there, and it, you know, it's trespassing if an officer goes in there, right? And so we had to invest, you know, the whatever money, and we weren't even selling tickets. We were doing it for what you like, the love of underground music. We were trying to, because in Philadelphia, it's hip hop, it's pop, and dubstep is actually like the biggest genre out here. Like because Subtronics is from Philly, and him and the Unlocked guys have who own the Ave in Philly have built such a huge scene that gets a lot of love in Philly. But that's like the biggest underground thing. And so now we're trying to, us, and there's a couple other groups like Rock the House and Fold Theory that do tech house and techno, and then we're like the bass house / tech house crew, and we're all doing these events and trying to, you know, book each other and on all this stuff. And so to be able to to do this. Like, I know how hard it is, man. And you're talking about in an area where the biggest genre is country music, and man, like that's got to be such a good feeling, man.
Funny thing that you say dubstep is popular. There's no dubstep in Brazil, man. There's none in anywhere in any region. No one makes dubstep and no one listens to dubstep. If you say subtronics here in Brazil, no one will know what you're talking about. So that was one of the reasons that I switched to house music, because that was just too hard for me to do it alone, you know?
Yeah,
I,
it's totally understandable, man. And look what you've been able to do since switching to and finding a new genre of music that you love so much too. You've been
yeah,
able, and bass house, I feel like bass house started because there was house music and dubstep, and it's the middle of both of them.
for sure it is. And you know, some of my tracks have a lot of influence on my bass house days. A lot of vocals that I used on bass house dubstep tracks and back in the day. Like I just released in December a track called "Dark Passenger" that is about Dexter, you know, the TV show, and
Yeah.
I used the same vocal for another track called "Dark Passenger" when I was the other project that I had that was called Fable and was the dubstep project. So I was heavily influenced by everything I heard so far. I'm like a sum of everything.
Hell yeah, man. So what were some of the, I know you said Downlink and Datsik were some of the artists that inspired you, and then you found Chami and Mala and Bro Hug and stuff like that. So what are some other artists that continue to influence you?
Nowadays, for dubstep, I want to shout out a guy that I think two guys that I think are very underrated. That is Bar Nine and Krima. Dude is a beast, and he supported my dubstep days, so he knows about the OGs, you know. But nowadays, I think I'm very influenced by Hooters, Honey and Badger,
Yeah.
Friends, Buitano, the whole Confession gang is very strong on me, you know. Night Base also gives me strong vibes sometimes, and I try to go to these routes. But yeah, I really like these ones mainly because are their very bass line driven tracks, you know, because I really like the dark, long bass house tracks that just go and go. Capozzi is also a great one. She is dope as fuck. We need more bass house girls like her.
Hell yeah, man, dude. And that's cool that you're because Chami and AC Slater, they're starting to do shows together. The Night Bass and Confessions.
Cool. I feel like I'm getting Christmas gifts so early.
Right.
I wish I was in the US for some of the concerts, but I couldn't get the time scheduling right with this trip. But maybe some other time I'll get to that. Oh, and I forgot to tell you, if you ever need any help with your concerts your shows that you plan, you can talk to me. If you talk to me very much in advance, I'll try to make it there. Even I can even play it if you want. I
Hell
actually
yeah.
went to last year because some friends of mine were throwing a party, and it was like for 500 people, I think, or something. And one of my friends told me, man, I'll share my slot with you. I'll back to back with you if you can come to Canada. And then I went to Canada. Too bad COVID locked the thing down and we didn't have the party, but I went to Canada and met my friends anyway, so that was cool.
That's awesome. Where in Canada was it?
I stayed for a few days in Ottawa, and then I stayed a couple more days in what is the name of the town? Ontario.
Okay.
Yes.
Mm-hmm. Yeah,
Uh,
man.
Toronto, actually Toronto. Yes, I couldn't make it to Ontario, but I wanted to.
Yeah, Toronto is actually not that far from I think Buffalo is the closest town in New York. Um,
And Buffalo is the city with most of my listeners. Actually, most of my listeners are from Buffalo for some reason.
Really?
Why?
That's cool. That's cool to know. That's cool. That's sick, man. I've never been up to Buffalo, but so I'm a big football fan, and I mean American football. I'm a really big soccer fan. I'm a diehard Arsenal Football Club. That's my squad. But um, but the Buffalo Bills, the NFL team, they're like known for their tailgates before the games where everyone's like partying and stuff. And their fans are called the Bills Mafia. And I've always wanted to go to a Bills game just for the party to see like what it's like. But it's freaking cold in Buffalo. like right now in Jersey, the past few days, it's been like in the teens. But in Buffalo, it's like freezing cold and snowing from like November to March or April. Like it's freezing cold up there. And
when I was there, and it was like summer, so it's probably don't get so much hotter. Here in my city is very hot usually, so we're used to melting.
yeah.
If we go
How close are you to the equator?
very close, actually. Not if I was a little bit to the north of Brazil, it would be way closer. But for some reason, we get hotter than the people that are actually on the equator. I think it's probably some geological reason.
Yeah. Hell yeah.
Now it's cold in here in Brazil, and it's like 21 degrees Celsius. I don't know in Fahrenheit because we don't use it.
Yeah. And I was talking about Fahrenheit before when I said in the teens. So I don't know. I'd have to hold on. Let's see. We got iPhones, right? we got,
21
so you said 13 degrees Celsius? 21 degrees Celsius to Fahrenheit. That is, you said 21?
Yes.
Dude, that's 70 degrees Fahrenheit. You're saying that's cold?
Like people get their coats on and get sick.
Yo, if 70 degrees, I'll have my shirt off. I'll be running around.
Nah, man, we usually stay above 30. And we even there has been times we got to 40 degrees, I think, around here. It's bad. It's really hot. We can't stay without air conditioning here. The first time I saw a heater was when I went to New York. I didn't know heaters were a thing because it's so hot in here, because we don't have like fireplaces or heaters, because it would be absolutely useless for the whole year.
Yeah.
We don't have My friend said it was really funny because the one from Canada, because I showed him some pictures of us on Christmas, and it was like sun scalding hot outside, and there's no snow anywhere, and people are walking like with tank tops on and stuff because it's so hot on Christmas here.
Yeah, you said it got to 40 degrees. Well, that's 104 degrees Fahrenheit, and that's as hot as it'll ever get. Like it probably goes into like the 90s. But how is the like humidity? So I know we get bad humidity up here sometimes, but Miami's a lot more humid. How's the humidity in Brazil?
I mean, it depends a lot on where you are and the time of year. I think that changes more than the temperature,
Mm-hmm.
Right now it's very humid for some reason. We're getting a lot of rain and stuff, and the sky is always cloudy. But we also get some dry spells that are tough. It's bad when it's hot, and my throat hates it a lot.
Yeah, man. So also, since you're south of the equator, correct? So does that mean your seasons are flipped from ours?
Yes.
So it's summer for you right now?
I don't know the seasons. I know that the end of the year is summer. So yeah, probably still summer.
Yeah, so it's winter for us. So like, so let's see what Let's see. I don't know if you'll even be able to take this. Let's see, 18 degrees Fahrenheit, which is what it was here. 18 degrees Fahrenheit was or is 2 Celsius. -7.
Fuck, man, that's so cold. It will never. It gets cold like this in the very south of Brazil. I think last year actually was the first time that it snowed in the south of Brazil.
Oh shit.
Had snow, and so yeah, that shows. I mean, Brazil is huge.
Yeah.
We share the south border with Uruguay, and I mean they get snow there. Why can't we have here? You know?
Yeah. Have you ever seen snow?
Yes, actually, a couple of times. I really like to travel, you know, so I've been a lot to the US. I've been a couple of times to Europe, and I've seen a lot of snow in Big Bear City, I think in Nevada.
Yeah.
In New York, I went once and it was like minus 13 degrees Celsius, was crazy cold there on the because I went to the Christmas and New Year's.
So,
I got a little bit of snow in Argentina too.
dude, I gotta say, so like all the things that I know about South America is just like how friggin' beautiful it is. Like, what's it like? What's it like right around your town? Is it because obviously we know, the Amazon rainforest is in Brazil, right? But what's it like around you?
Yeah, I mean the Amazon is pretty up north in Brazil, so it's very different from our vegetation here. We have like usually have big uh, dry spells in the weather, you know. So our vegetation is called cerrado, and it is very prone to burning and rebuilding itself, like a phoenix, you know. It is
Yeah.
very tough. The trees have like a very thick skin, and they are very contorted and stuff, and it's really cool actually. But it's very sparse. We don't get like jungles and stuff in my state. It's very like open fields with some trees and very dry grass and stuff, you know. Sometimes we get like some hills that are kind of more filled with with trees and stuff, but all around like a very sparse place that is very easy to put cattle on, that we have a lot. We My state is known for cattle as well.
Well, I'm the king of grass-fed beef, man. That's my that's my
Yeah, we love the steak houses here are the best, man. Are oof, very good.
Yeah, we have a place. There's two by me that are like pretty famous. One's called or three. One's called Shima, one's called Nebraska, and one's called Fogo de Chao. Those are like three really famous Brazilian steakhouses. You guys do it right. You guys do it right. Like,
I've been to Fogo de Chão algumas vezes, sometimes. I think it's so funny the way you guys pronounce, because it's a very hard word because it has the ch and the thing above the a. It's called Fogo de Chão. It's very hard to pronounce for Americans.
yeah, I'm gonna stick with Fogo de Chao. But
If you like it there, you should taste the meat here, man. It's on another level.
I bet.
Go to the US, I miss the because we usually eat like rice, beans, and the steak, and that's like our everyday meal. You know, that's what we eat like for lunch, for dinner. I've been to the US a couple of times and to Canada, and people don't usually have the eating schedule that we do. We eat a lot throughout the day. We have like big meals like twice a day, and we have like snacks in the middle of the afternoon, and like after we have dinner as well, and when we wake up, like breakfast and stuff. Our breakfast isn't as heavy as like eggs and bacon. Is most people here just drink coffee and that's it, for their breakfast. Very
Oh,
light on the meals. We go hard on.
yeah, but also you're right around like some of the best coffee beans to to grace this world. You've got and oh, so what about yerba mate?
That I wouldn't know much about because I don't like that as much.
It tastes like dirt. I'm not gonna
Yeah,
lie.
it's like fancy dirt.
Dude, I drink it every morning.
Yeah.
That's so funny, man. Yeah, I know. I'm pretty sure yerba mate is native to like Argentina. I think that's where it's like,
Yeah, I think that as well. I think Argentina is we usually get a lot of wine and I think the herbs as well.
yeah, man. And so, man, so your coffee is probably so good. Oh my God, not that BS Dunkin'
No,
Donuts and Starbucks.
yeah, but I mean, I got COVID a year back actually, and my sense of smell and taste never came back. So I don't like the taste and smell of coffee anymore. It's hard to me. So I mean,
Well,
that's things
I'm gonna
change.
help you with that because apparently zinc is or zinc deficiencies are what lead to that because it was just explained to me. My mom actually was listening to a doctor explain it how um, zinc is taken from the taste and smell, which are very combined, and because you don't need that as much as other parts of the body to function. So I'm gonna send you some articles and stuff with different zinc supplements and stuff, and who knows, maybe it'll help. Maybe it'll help.
In a year, man, I don't remember what meat tastes like anymore. It's a totally new taste that I had to get used to, and I don't like it as much. I
Oh man,
stopped
we're
eating.
gonna fix that shit. We're gonna fix that shit together.
Even on the spectrum, I already had like a very small range of food that I like to eat. I'm very picky with stuff. So if I could, that would make my life like 100% better if I could
Yeah,
taste
we're
all the
gonna
time.
fix that shit. We're gonna fix that shit together, man.
God's forsaken COVID, man.
Yeah, man. It's been
Yeah,
crazy. The world has
and it sucks because people are getting sick again here.
yeah.
It's
How has it been down in Brazil for the
yeah, it's
past 2 years?
our president sucks and he couldn't handle it, and he took way too long to start the vaccination. So when most of the world was already vaccinating everyone, we were still starting to vaccinate old people. So we were very behind the schedule. We had a lot of casualties because of it. People are calling our president a genocidal man. I think I never saw a president this hated since even more than Trump, I think. Do on another
That
level.
oh man. I don't mean to laugh. Obviously, it's a tragedy, all the lives that have been lost and stuff. But like the it's also like so many people have in think about how much your life can change in 2 years if you're taught like the things like supplementing zinc and magnesium, things like supplementing vitamin D, all these things that can help with your health, that can strengthen your immune system so that, regardless of having the vaccine, you're just better with handling any viral load,
Yeah,
and
president was really the believer of the kind of people that believe that chloroquine would make such a difference when it was proven that it was not a good way to fight COVID and stuff. So he bought a bunch of chloroquine and did a bunch of stupid shit and didn't listen to what we actually needed. Our fucking health minister quit because of him.
man, there's
Now it's coming back, but people are vaccinated. Only the people that are not vaccinated that are dying and stuff. So I mean, it's a little on them for not being vaccinated and putting everybody at risk, but it's bad, you know. I wish nobody had to go through that anymore because I caught COVID twice, and it sucks, man. It's so bad. I didn't
Well,
have any major stuff, but it's an inconvenience, very big
well,
inconvenience.
we're gonna make sure we're gonna get your smell and your taste back. It's gonna be great. You're gonna be tasting that juicy steak, that rice and beans, that coffee's gonna taste better. We're gonna do it, man. We're gonna do it together. But it's I'm happy, through all of this, you catching it twice and being able to throw your first show and all this stuff and all this stuff you've been able to accomplish with music. And it's been a, I don't want to say a blessing, but it's been a good opportunity for a lot of musicians and stuff to really hunker down and learn music production and work harder and stuff. And I took it myself as an opportunity to start my podcast back up, and I've been able to connect with a lot of people. And my degree is health and coaching, so there's a lot of people that I've been able to help with just nutrition in general and exercise. And I'm very grateful that I've learned so much over the last 12 years since I went to college and since I've been out of college, that I've been able to help a lot of people. And even the biggest thing for me is leading by example, right? Like, if I'm eating healthy and I'm exercising and I'm taking the right supplements and stuff, and people are seeing that I'm not getting sick and I'm able to fight off any viral load that I have, hopefully they even if they don't reach out to me, they might see like, oh, this person is living a healthy lifestyle. That'll up my chances of being okay with any sickness. Because my goal is not just to defend my against virus, but the long-term goal is to just live a long, healthy life, right? Like heart disease, diabetes, cancer, all these things can be, not, it's always, nothing's 100%, right? Like I don't know for sure if when I'm 80 years old, I don't know for sure, but I know I'm giving myself the best chance by eating healthy and taking the right supplements and
I really
drinking a lot
like
of water.
yeah, I'm missing my water. I really like your Instagram. I follow it since I got into Cosmic, I think, and I really like that. I see you working out. I see you talking about healthy and stuff, and it's actually a good inspiration, because I mean, I got my ups and downs with fitness and stuff. I'm very thin. I weigh like 55 kilograms, and I'm 6 feet tall, and it's very low. I try to make it better, and I'm coming back to the gym now that the year started because um, I was in a very bad state of mind on the second half of last year, so I stopped going to the gym and stopped taking care of myself the way I should. I was very focused on my music and my college that I started now. That I after I did Cosmic, I tried another music school here in Brazil, but I quit that as well because it was really bad and I knew more than the school could teach me. And now I'm at Berkeley in Boston. I'm doing an online course there. Yes, is the online degree for the
That's
bachelor.
awesome.
It's really cool. It's really cool that they have that online, so I could make the best out of the COVID stuff. I could just study abroad without going abroad.
Yeah. And
And
it's
yeah,
cold as hell in Boston too. So you don't got to go to the cold.
I actually caught snow when I went to Boston once. I'll probably go there again when it's my time to graduate because they had the physical graduation there, and that's very cool because I always wanted to graduate at something, and I'm always switching schools. So I thought I would never get the chance, but now that I really like this school and I'm really putting everything into it, that's cool. I actually did a last trimester. I had a music therapy classes. It was really cool, very different, very nice. Helped me a bit with some things as well. It was almost like I was learning, but I was also in a therapy myself. Very cool.
Yeah, for sure, man. I mean, that goes hand in hand with the stuff I was talking about before with sound healing and stuff.
Yeah,
So what types of things were you learning about in that class? What can I
really
implement in my own life, man?
a lot of stuff that I would never think of. How much music can be uh just rooted inside your everyday life. They make you select like a lot of playlists with different moods for you that work for you. And like if you have trouble sleeping, you get a sleep playlist that will make you focus and relax, and you really have to like listen to the songs you like and feel them, pay very close attention to the song on what they make you feel, and then try to group these songs and try to replicate those feelings on the moments you need them, so they can boost everything you're doing. If you're going to the gym, you have a energetic playlist that does just the right thing for you to do a little bit extra, and it's all about getting the 1% better in everything, so it adds up to 100% in all aspects. It was a very cool thing, and there are actually so many methods that I don't remember them all. I have to go back to it and keep reading and implementing in my life, because it's so much you can do, and you never think of it. You sometimes you just listen to music and, oh, that makes me feel nice, but you don't really think, why does that make me feel nice, and how can I use that to improve my week in some other way. Those
Absolutely.
think about and try to implement on your day-to-day basis that I am trying to do right now. So I got like celebratory music. Whenever I got a huge accomplishment, I take this song that is actually Promises by Chami, and I play it, and I feel like, yeah, I gotta keep doing it more so I can hear the song again the next time even stronger.
Hell
So yeah,
yeah.
always getting better. Actually, I just released the song this week. Uh, it finally came globally out, my Dirty Bird release. Finally on Spotify. Yeah.
That's
Next month, an EP coming out on the Covas label. So that's really cool too. It's called the Brazil EP. So paying
hell
homage
yeah.
my country. And yeah, we
So
got music filled up until June, I think.
that's amazing, man. I mean, Dirty Bird's my dream label. That's where I want to be, man. That's so inspiring to just know that someone else that came through Cosmic has been able to accomplish that. It's
I got in there with bass house, so you gotta do. It's very different. It's very weird. You got the Japanese guy talking, and then a mix of bass house with a break of tech house on the middle of the drop. So yeah, get weird, do your thing, and people will notice eventually, even if it takes some time. You gotta make it difficult for them to ignore you. So you kind of surround them until they, oh fuck, I can get out. So I might as well just give in to the void.
hell yeah, man.
Because I'm getting support from a lot of confession artists and trying my best to get to their sound, but without losing my identity in the sound. And I think I'm getting a mix released by them soon, sometime. So
Hell
that's it.
yeah.
That's
Look
the
at
start.
that. That's the label that started it for you, right?
I started, and I'm will still get a track there. If not this year, next year. I'm sure of it. I'll try my best.
Dude, absolutely. I mean, look at your resume. Like if they open up your resume and they're like, who is this guy? And then they look at your branding, they're like, oh shit, like this guy, like, look, that's Claude Von Stroke has I've heard him talk about it, how he's like, I'm not looking for someone who makes music that you think is just like music that's on Dirty Bird. He's like, I want to find the next guy, like Lubelski, or I think that's how you say it, is another guy, makes some weird freaking music, man, and it's awesome. And he's got a song with Claude Von Stroke, and so that it makes perfect sense that you've been able to sign with them.
And actually, in Dirty Bird, they really love Brazilian artists. We have a lot of Brazilian artists in Dirty Bird. Actually, one of the biggest the Dirty Bird artists is Brazilian. That is Corti. That is called. He made a couple songs like Acid Pussy, or what's the other song he made? Black Magic. He has a lot of songs. He released an EP a couple weeks back. And when there's the Brazil Festival here in Brazil, or Dirty Bird Festival here in Brazil, he's the one that picks everyone and organizes the festival. So yeah, Papa Stroke really like the Brazilian vibes, you know.
Hell yeah, man. Dude, Papa Claude, baby. Like I saw he just came to Philly not too long ago. He was at the Ave, that place I was telling you about that has made or that group of people, Unlocked Presents, has made dubstep like really popular in Philadelphia. But they still bring the biggest house artists too, man. They brought Claude Von Stroke, they brought Chris Lake, they brought Dom Dalla, John Summit is coming. Like they're bringing a lot of guys, and I got the opportunity to open for A-Craze when he came for Thanksgiving Eve. So that was
crazy.
Yeah, man. That song. It's so cool because I'm sure you know too. Like before, he was making heavier music, man. Like,
and he got a lot of good tracks on Confession. Actually, I met him because of that, and then out of nowhere he dropped Do It To It, and I felt like that's weird. That doesn't sound like him. I don't like this track, and then it blew up, man. And I heard it in the club, and I thought, man, this track is bangs for some reason.
Right? Man, it was really cool to hear him play it live and stuff, and now there's a guy named Focus who plays at the Ave quite a bit, and he actually played at Lost Lands too, Excisions Festival, and he made a Do It To It fucking heavy remix to it, dude. Like it's friggin' I was so pumped when he released that. Like he's a good friend, and he played it when he opened for Kaiwachi at the Ave, and obviously I'm going to go support the homies, and that was the first time he dropped it. I was like, dude, what? Like, so shout out to freaking Tyler, freaking Focus. Awesome, dude. I'll send you that. It's he's got it on SoundCloud, and you'll hear it'll bring you back to your dubstep days, man. It's great, man.
Oh, I feel like it was very different styles actually. For some reason, my dubstep tracks were very dreamy and light and major sounds and stuff, and my house vibe is very dark and very grim and very, very ominous and stuff. And it's what people remember me by, you know. It's the weird dark tracks. Is HEYDOC. That's who I am in terms of tracks.
Hell yeah, man. Well, shit, man. This has been an amazing, amazing podcast. I'm so grateful that you came on and did this. That I'm so freaking proud of you, man. It's such an inspirational story to hear you come through all of this and making now your show down there, and it just no matter what, like you didn't let the fact that like it's not a huge scene down by you like hold you guys back, and you guys are doing it, man. You're freaking doing it. So how can tell everyone how to find you on Spotify, Instagram, all that stuff?
Okay, so most places, if you type is HEYDOC, everything together with an exclamation mark. But if you want to find me in Instagram, is HEYDOC Music, very straightforward. And the same thing in Spotify, HEYDOC. And it's very easy to find. There are not that many HEYDOCs around there.
Hell yeah, man. Well, everybody, especially go check out the latest release with Dirty Bird, my freaking dude. Hell yeah, man. So, dude, seriously, thank you for being you.
Thank you so much for inviting me. I hope I come back sometime.
Hell yeah, man. Until next time, everybody, thank you so much for coming in and listening. My freaking dude. Until next time, peace, love, unity, and respect. We're out. I'll talk to you soon, brother. Love you to death, man.